Today's Consumer View. We all know that it's important to have a good relationship with your doctor, but can it also benefit you to have a good relationship with your mechanic? Automotive expert Casey Jordan is here with more on this interesting topic. Casey, thanks for being with us again today.
Oh, thanks for having me.
All right, let's start with this. Why is it important to have a good working relationship with your mechanic?
Well, again, like you said in the beginning, it is like your doctor. Things go wrong with you, things go wrong with your car. You need somebody who is going to be there to help you get through that, repair. And you also want to make sure that the person's going to help you do it correctly, as well as finding the most cost-effective solution, and also the less hassle to make sure that they get you in and out as quickly as possible so you get back on the road.
Makes sense, and we all go to them. If we own a car, you're eventually going to end up at a mechanic at some
Every
point.
car breaks.
So that's true. So what steps should you take to make sure your relationship with your mechanic goes smoothly?
Well, the first thing you want to do is you really need to respect your mechanic and keep your appointments. Particularly if you make an appointment with your mechanic, they're planning to book you in for that day. Make sure they may have already ordered parts for you, so really keep your appointment. And just like you go to the doctor, you do your research before you go to the mechanic, but don't go in there and say, I need a new starter on my car. Say, my car is not starting properly. Could it be the starter? And let them kind of help you walk you through that diagnosis. So really value their opinion. Especially if you're going to buy a new car as well, ask their opinion before you buy a vehicle. Your mechanic really wants to be engaged in that process, because they know what's going to come in, and they'll be able to tell you, say, look, if you buy this vehicle, this thing is known to go wrong with it. This is how much it's going to be, and so we could expect that repair, because all cars do have some sort of issue that will cause them to break. The last thing that you should really do if you have a car that especially is used is work on a repair plan with your mechanic. If you have multiple things that need to be done, make sure that you come out with a list. If you can't afford to do them all at one time, work with your mechanic, get the list together, prioritize what comes first, and then when you're able to get all the repairs done with your mechanic.
So what are some secrets to getting on a mechanic's good side?
Well, there's two key things to getting on your mechanic's good side. One is if you don't need your car fixed right away, you can drop it off and give it to him for a day or two. Let him know, because there are some people in his shop who need their car that day. So if you can say, you know what, it's Wednesday, I need my car by Friday, he'll appreciate the fact that he doesn't have to get your car fixed that day. The second secret to getting your car fixed and keeping a good relationship with your mechanic is make sure your car's clean when it comes into the repair shop. They like to see that you're taking care of your car as well. Mechanics are just like they're hobbyists probably as well as their profession, so they like to fix their car. They're probably fixing their own cars and things like that. It's a hobby for them. They like to see that you respect your vehicle as well. So always make sure your car is clean inside. It doesn't have to be washed and waxed, but just make sure all the garbage is out of it and things like that. Show a little pride of ownership for your mechanic.
Makes sense. All right, now when is it time to find a new mechanic?
Well, the time to find a new mechanic a lot of times is when the communication seems to be breaking down, when there's phone calls aren't being returned and your expectations aren't being met. If you need the car by Wednesday afternoon and they promise it to be done by Wednesday afternoon and it's just not going to happen, and it happens over and over again, it's probably time to find a new mechanic, because the person you want servicing your car is the one you want to respect your business.
Sure. And find somebody you can trust. That's
absolutely.
Casey, thanks again for being with us today. Very helpful information. Now, if you have a question for Casey, you can ask him. Just send an email to askcasey@kview.com. He'll be back real soon to answer some of those viewer questions.